Hello Laziali all over the world, welcome to Lazio Lounge. I'm Vittorio Campanile and let's start with something because since Alasdair left, Lazio played 4 games and we won all of them, Derby included. I don't think it's a coincidence, absolutely not. I think without Alasdair we played much better, so just to start the podcast the right way. Last time we recorded the podcast was after the last Serie A game, so it was after Udinese Lazio, a positive away game, a positive away win. So in this podcast, we're going to talk about the quarterfinals of Coppa Italia, the Derby one, and obviously Lazio Lecce, another very important game, another very important win, because Lazio is back there, which is incredible, right? If we consider how the season started, how things were going just a couple of months ago, it's nearly unbelievable to think that Lazio is back there, close to the Champions League positions, which is really a good sign. Yes, we have to say that Lazio have won the last 5 games in a row. We won against Empoli away, Frosinone at home, Udinese away, the Derby, that was Coppa Italia, and then again home against Lecce. So 5 consecutive wins. And this is the first time under Sarri that Lazio win 5 consecutive games. So this is really important. But I would add that if we go back to uh, November, after Salernitana Lazio, that was played the 25th of November, Lazio have played 11 games. Of these 11 games, we lost just 2. And those 2 games were a game that you could imagine Lazio would have lost, or at least it would have been difficult to win, right? Atletico Madrid and Inter. These are the only 2 games Lazio lost since end of November, because after Salernitana Lazio, we won the Champions League game against Celtic at home, then we won against Cagliari at home, then the Coppa Italia against Genoa. The only game we drew was against Verona, and yes, it was beginning of December and it was quite disappointing. Then we lost against Atletico Madrid and Inter, and then we had these 5 matches in a row that Lazio won. The derby was really important mentally. I thought it was a very difficult game. Against Roma, it's always difficult. They don't play football, so it's very difficult for you to try to play football. But we have to say that Lazio played much better than Roma. We had 6 shots on targets against none of Roma, and this tells you a lot. This tells you really a lot about that game. Yes, Lazio won thanks to a penalty. It was a clear penalty, and I think that overall Lazio played better than Roma and deserved to win. Now, we have to point out another very important thing, because there was a huge rotation in Lazio squad in the derby, something that we hardly saw in a big match like that, because we were without Luis Alberto, we were without Ciro Immobile, Provedel didn't play. We had Manda starting in goal. And that wasn't the only substitution. Cataldi played instead of Rovella. We saw Vecino starting for the first time after a long time. So Sarri made a lot of changes, 6 changes compared to the team that started against Udinese. And even with those changes, I thought Lazio played a good match. Lazio deserved to win. We played better than Roma. Honestly, well, someone could argue that Roma doesn't play football anymore, and I agree with that. But it's always challenging because they are a very physical opponent. They start to put a fight, start from the beginning, and that's the type of football they like to play. That's how they win, right? They put a fight. They hope that you get annoyed, or maybe you get a red card, like it happened to Pedro at the end of the game. And they're very physical and try to put long ball in the box and try to make something happen, which didn't, fortunately for us, in the derby. I'm disappointed from the red card Pedro got at the end of the game, because Pedro is a very experienced player. He shouldn't be making those mistakes. But overall, I thought Lazio played better. And who would have thought a couple of months ago the Lazio would be able to win a derby without Ciro, Luis Alberto and Provedel? To be honest, Mandas didn't do pretty much nothing in the derby. He made a good save at the end, but Roma never had a shot on target apart that. Lukaku was invisible. Dybala again, another invisible derby. And there are numbers that are really incredibly thick. In the last 4 derby, Roma didn't score a single goal. And I will add to this that in the last 4 derby, Roma had just 3 shots on target. This tells you how bad the Roma team is. So it was really important winning the game. Well, I think it was important, it gives you confidence winning a derby. And obviously it's the quarterfinals, so it's not a away and a home game. It's just one game, and now Lazio will play semi-final against Juventus. I think who will win that semi-final will win the Coppa Italia, because on the other side there should be Atalanta and Fiorentina, and I guess who comes out from Juventus and Lazio will be the favorite for the final of the Coppa Italia. But it's still very long. I think we are playing in April, the semi-final, which is nuts. I mean, the Coppa Italia is awful. It's really, really bad organized. I mean, you cannot play the quarterfinals beginning of January and then the semifinals in April. I mean, you should do something in between. You should play them, I don't know, February, something earlier, maybe end of January before the Champions League start. Instead, we're gonna play the semifinal in April, March, which is nuts. But let's go to Lazio Lecce. And I thought this was a very difficult game. Very difficult for various reasons. The first one, after the derby, you know that this team struggles mentally. You lose a lot of mental energy in a derby. And if you play just a couple of days afterwards with a weak team like Lecce, it's not easy to mentally focus on the game. And we saw it in the first half of Lazio Lecce. Lazio didn't play the first half, basically. Lazio was dreadful in the first half. We didn't create nothing. Lecce had far more chances than we had in the first 45 minutes. The second problem was it was a lunch game, so 12:30 kickoff. And we just played on Wednesday at night, and then after a couple of days, you play a lunch match, which it's not easy to prepare, and you can see it, Lazio didn't start very well. And obviously the third point is you're playing against Lecce. After a derby, playing against a weak side, you can undervalue the opponent, which I think Lazio did in the first half. So it was really 2 games in one, Lazio Lecce. The first half where Lecce deserved more. They created chances. They had just 1 shot on target. Provedel was good on that. But Lecce created much more than us. Lazio had a huge chance, to be honest. I rewatched the game, and Lazio had a huge chance in the first half with Luis Alberto passing the ball to Isaksen just in front of the goalkeeper. And Isaksen wasn't ready, probably. He just passed the ball to the goalkeeper, but he had a huge chance. Now it's strange because Isaksen is up and down so far. He played really badly against Lecce. I thought he played well in the other games. So this is a little bit bizarre. I thought against Lecce he had a huge chance, but he didn't take it. And Sarri said it after the game. Isaksen came off not because he was injured, not because he had a problem, but I thought he was playing badly, so I need to change something. And I thought that, Isaksen wasn't playing very well. To be honest with you, I don't think that Lazio played better in the second half because Isaksen came off, even because Pedro had a big chance. But again, I'm not seeing Pedro playing very well, guys. I'm really concerned about Pedro, to be honest with you. Last year, he played much better. This season, it looks like, I don't know if he's done as a player, mentally or physically, but I thought in the last games, both in the derby, when he got sent off, and against Lecce, he didn't have the impact I was expecting. And to be honest, we have to say that, for example, Lazio-Celtic Lazio, the home game, the away game, he was decisive. He made a header that could give us 3 points that at the end of the day were the key to finish the group in second place. So I thought Pedro didn't started decently the season. Now it looks like he's really struggling, and this is a big problem because Zaccagni is not 100% fit. Sarri said it after the game against Lecce. He has a problem with his feet. I don't know if he's gonna be able to play in the Supercoppa. They'll have to see. But Zaccagni is not in great condition. Ciro Immobile just came back. He got a yellow card, so he will definitely miss Lazio Napoli, which is an important game. Isaac didn't play very well against Lecce, so we don't have many options there in front. So we need to have Pedro back in good shape. But in the second half, I thought Lazio played much better. They finally mentally switched on, and I thought that was huge. You could see the first 10-15 minutes of the game, the second half. Lazio played so much better than Lecce, created plenty of chances, and we scored. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Felipe Anderson scored the second goal, guys. Second goal of the Serie A season so far, when he played number 9. I think there he plays better. He has more opportunity, and he's closer to the goal, and he takes his chances. We have to give credit to Rovella and to Luis Alberto, but Felipe Anderson is playing much better there. So with Tati Castellano out, it looks like he's going to be out for 2 weeks. I think Felipe Anderson could be a good option there. But against Lecce, we saw, in the second half obviously, a good Lazio team. I thought we definitely played better. And not only we played better, but I don't think Lecce had any huge chances in the second half. Provedel didn't make any save in the second half, which is good because when you're 1 goal up, the other team try everything to score, to find the equalizer. And I think Lazio defended really, really well. Now, talking about defense, I think we have to talk a little bit about Gila. I didn't expect to see him starting, honestly, against Lecce. I thought it would have been against Patrick Romagnoli. But instead, Sarri surprised, I think, everybody, starting Gila and Patrick. Patrick had to be subbed after, 20 minutes? It looks like it's not a serious injury. He should be able to play in the Supercoppa. But Romagnoli came in, and something very interesting, because usually Gila played on the left side and Patrick on the right side. With Romagnoli coming in, Romagnoli slid on the left, and Gila, who played usually on the left, moved to the right. And I thought he played well even there. So Gila can be a surprise this season. He started a lot of games so far, which nobody expected. Obviously, with the Romagnoli injured, Gila had a lot of opportunity, and I thought he played so well that now Sarri is willing to give him more chances like he did today against Lecce. So I thought Gila, very interesting. Now, I don't know if you read them, but someone reported rumors that Real Madrid that has a defense problem because they lost a couple of the central defenders from injury are thinking to try to get back Gila. So I don't believe these rumors, but we're going to see. But I think Gila can be very important for this club now going forward. And I think that Sarri is going to play him much more than he did last year. So I think Gila deserves credit for taking the opportunity when he had it. And I think he played well and deserved to have more opportunity. And this will give us more rotation because Patrick, Romagnoli, they cannot play all the season. So Gila can start getting in the mix. Now I wonder if Casale will get back in the mix because let's not forget that Casale is back from injury and hardly played since he came back. So I guess Sarri have changed a little bit. I think that Patrick and Romagnoli are the starter, but Gila is the first option, not Casale anymore. So this is interesting. But I thought we played well against Lecce in the second half. And guys, Rovella. I thought, I don't know what to say anymore about Rovella. He's playing very, very well. I have to admit that if Spalletti doesn't call him in the next Italy-friendly game, I would be really astonished. I think Rovella is the best midfielder in Italy at the moment. And I don't know how many balls he's able to recover. He's a tackle machine. Really, he reminds me a little bit about Leiva in certain ways. But against Lecce, he was really important, even in the chance we scored. I don't know if you saw it, because it's Rovella who's taking the ball and moving forward and pass it to Luis Alberto in the box. So it's good to see that, because Sarri said it very often. He said, Rovella is a really good player. He surprised me a little bit defensive wise, but he needs to improve when he has the ball on his feet. He needs to pass it better, not always backwards, but even trying to connect with their attackers, with their strikers, with the wingers. And I think in the last two games, we saw this. We saw Rovella playing much more direct ball, long balls, trying to connect with their strikers, etc. So I think Rovella is growing game after game, and this is really important. And I'm happy that Cataldi started in the derby because I don't know how many other games Cataldi will start. I think when you have this type of Rovella, really, really impressive. On the not so positive notes, I would say that Luis Alberto didn't play that well against Lecce. Yes, he made the assist, and I think now he's like in the top 3 assists so far this season. But I'm not seeing the old Luis Alberto, the one we saw at the beginning of the season, for example. Yes, obviously he just came back from an injury. He's not 100% fit. He needs to find the rhythm back. But even before the injury, to be honest, I didn't see the Luis Alberto I remember. I didn't see the Luis Alberto who started the season very strong. I don't know if he's, a little bit not 100% fit. Maybe mentally he's tired, or simply getting older, he's struggling to play at this level consistently. But I'm a little bit concerned about this Luis Alberto. And when Vecino came in, we played much better. I thought that Vecino at this point, it's probably the best option we have there. We saw it in the derby, we saw it against Udinese, and even against Lecce, when Vecino came in, I don't think it's a coincidence that we start creating chances. He's very good getting in the box. He's the only player we have with Kamada who is good getting in the box in the right time and created chances. We had a huge chance at the end of the game when Ciro came in, and we were unlucky because we could have finished the game there. Now Ciro finally back again. He didn't start the game. He came in the last 15 minutes. Sarri said it before the game that Ciro doesn't have more than 20 minutes in the legs. But maybe because he didn't play that much in the last month or so. I saw a very focused Ciro Immobile. Ciro was really trying to make something. Now, unfortunately, he got the yellow card, and so he's going to miss Lazio Napoli. And this is another problem, because we have Zaccagni out, and we're going to have even Ciro out. So, with Pedro not playing that well, and we have to hope that Castellano get back. Now, Sarri said Castellano should be out 10 days. So, considering that Lazio Napoli is the 28th of October, he should be able to play that game. But we know that not all the time it works like expected. So, but with Ciro out, with Zaccagni out, if Castellano doesn't recover, then we don't have many options there. It's Isaksen, Pedro, and Felipe Anderson, which is not a great solution, to be honest with you. Felipe Anderson definitely playing better, but both Isaksen and Pedro didn't play great against Lecce, so that's a concern. But I mean, we're going to talk about Lazio-Napoli in the coming days. Napoli as well. They will be without Karius, Osimhen, and Kvaratskhelia, so they will be struggling as well. But important the win against Lecce, because we are 5th, if I'm not wrong, just 1 point behind Fiorentina. So it's incredible to think that we're back there. We were able to recover an awful start, and now the Champions League is not impossible anymore. And seeing the other teams, apart from Inter, to be honest, Juventus, it's very consistent, but I don't think they play great football, much better than Lazio does, right? Milan is a team that is struggling. Roma, we beat them. Napoli, again, it's a team that is struggling and it's behind us. Fiorentina doesn't convince me. So we have a real huge opportunity to finish again in the top 4. Obviously, we have to continue like this. But if you go back and see what happened last year and the year before with Maurizio Sarri, it looks like Lazio switched on in December. It looks like from December onwards, it's another team who play much better, who run much more. And so this is what's giving me more confidence going forward. I think with Sarri we saw Lazio struggling at the beginning of the season, and then from December onwards, this team start really picking up, start playing great football, much better than before, and start rolling and start getting points, etc. So if we are 5th now in half January, I'm confident that going forward, we are going to be able to pick up points and finish in the 4. Now, the important thing is, I would say, injuries. Definitely, our roster is much better than last year. Everybody can see it. But obviously, if you start losing Castellano, Ciro Immobile, etc., then Sarri won't have a lot of option there. And we're still in Champions League, we're still in the Coppa Italia, we still have a lot of games to play. We need to rotate from here going forward. So let's hope that we don't pick too many injuries and we are able to start rolling from here. 5 wins in a row, I think that's great. But we can't stop here. We have to continue. We have to go further. So hopefully, crossing fingers, Lazio will pick up, start playing much better. Maybe Alistair don't come back earlier. And who knows? Maybe when he comes back, we're already 4th. Well, that's my hope. What's your take on Lazio Lecce? Write it in the comments below. And please rate and review our podcast, share it with friends, and we're gonna be back, I think, after Inter Lazio. Take care, guys.